Hey, you guys. Hey. You guys, it's your girl, Danny Royal from DannyRoyal.com. And it's been a while. It has been a while. I have been silent. I have been not silent at the same time. But I've been in my space. And I've been, in my mode, literally. And I'm here, you guys. And y'all know sometimes when you take a moment aside, you build up momentum and you get your strength back, you get your mind right, you focus up, you do what you got to do so you can attain what it is that you are aspiring after, right? So I hope that you guys are having an amazing Saturday. I don't normally I pop up whenever I feel like it, honestly. But I wanted to share something with you guys. I put in the topic section or in the description box or whatever, what are you believing? So y'all know I got a story for you guys. I have a story. And so, it's amazing how God can speak to you, all day, at any given time, at any given place, whenever he feels like it, just because he can do it, right? And so, I literally, just follow me, y'all. Just follow me. So, y'all know I sit in my car, and I talk about whatever. I pray here. I do whatever here. I do my lives here. This is where we are. Sometimes I'm at home. Y'all know how I be. Y'all just know how I am. For those who know me, but if you don't know me, welcome. Join us. Come on and join and sit down with Danny and just have a chat with me for a second. So, here's the story. So, I went to go to my brother's home to go wash some of my clothes, right? I don't have a washing machine and a dryer at my house. So, I went to, hey, thank you for the love. I went to my brother's to go wash clothes, right? And in me washing clothes, it was on a late night tip. I was like, all right, I'm going to just go. I had put some clothes in the washing machine earlier that day. But, when I went back, I put those clothes in the dryer, and then I ended up actually putting another load of clothes in there that night. And I said, okay, I'll be back in the morning to get my stuff, because my brother had said, hey, I'll put the clothes inside of the dryer for you that gets done in the washing machine. And once you get finished, I'll put everything in the bag. All you have to do is just come, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. That's a bet, right? Before I left his house, I said, no, let me backtrack. To the laundry room within the complex in which he lives, the door is locked to the front door. But not only is a door locked to the front door, you have to have access to get into the laundry room to even wash your clothes, because this is not like a public, place. Unless you know somebody that knows somebody that lives there, or whatever the case might be. So I'm like, all right, okay. So I sat, before I left, once I put everything in the washing machine, everything in the dryer, I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm a little tired. Let me just sit here for a second. And I sat there for probably about a good 10 minutes before I left. And mind you, it was nighttime. So once I got finished doing that, and I ended up getting up and going, probably about an hour, maybe or two later, I'm going to say to about 2 hours later, my brother was like, you left the money on the table for me to put in the washing machine in the dryer so that you can dry your clothes, but you didn't put no clothes in the washing machine. And in my mind, I'm like, yes, I did put clothes in the washing machine, right? And y'all follow me where I'm going, because I'm going somewhere, I promise you. So I'm like, yes, I did put clothes in the washing machine. He was like, no, Danny, you didn't put no clothes in the washing machine. I said, no, yes, I did. I said, I took the clothes out that were in the washing machine, and I put them in the dryer. And then from there, I decided to put another load inside. And that's why I left you the money. I left you the money sitting on your table so that you could put my clothes in the dryer, because we agreed that you would put everything in a bag and I would just come pick it up in the morning. And so I'm like, okay. Hey to everybody coming in and out. I said, okay. I said, Stevie, I said, no, I did what I said, what I was going to do. And that's the whole purpose of me leaving the money. I did that. So that night, he had me literally in my head, did I not, I knew that I left money for, and I knew that I put clothes in a washing machine. And I was like, I knew that I put clothes in the dryer. He saw those, but he didn't see the clothes in the washing machine. And I'm like, how do you miss clothes in the washing machine? I know I put those clothes in the washing machine. I know I'm not going crazy. And so I literally sat in my living room and I was like, God, like, am I losing my mind? Because I know that I put those clothes in the washing machine. He just told me, hey, you left me money, but you did not put any clothes in the washing machine when I know. He said, Danny, you were tired. And I said, yeah, I know I was tired, but I wasn't that tired. I was able to drive myself home. So he was like, he said, you didn't put no clothes in there. He said, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll back the cameras. I'm going to roll back the cameras in the morning time so we can see, if you put clothes in the washing machine or not. Fast forward, it's the morning time. He ended up calling me saying, hey, we're about to check the video cameras right now to see if you put clothes in there because there were no clothes inside of the washing machine, right? And I'm like, okay, all right, that's cool. So he said, hey, he hung up. He called me back probably about 5 minutes later. He said, hey, we're watching this video and Danny, you did not put any clothes inside the washing machine. And I'm sitting up here like, okay. So 3 minutes went by after watching probably about 5 minutes of the video from me washing clothes. Taking clothes out, putting it in the dryer and all that other stuff. And he said, you did put clothes in the washing machine. You did. Mind you, I'm sitting over at the house like I know I'm not going crazy. I know I did what I did. I actually did it myself. So I know that it got done or whatever the case might be. So he said, so you did put clothes in the washing machine. So where's the clothes that you put in the washing machine? And I'm sitting up there thinking to myself like, okay, I'm so glad for the cameras because I would have been looking like I was crazy or like something was wrong with me. And it wasn't. And I knew it wasn't. And I knew in my heart of hearts that I put clothes in the washing machine. And you cannot persuade me any otherwise that I did not do that, right? So later on, I called my brother because he said he was going to call me back. But I ended up calling him later on. And I was like, hey. I said, so what? Nobody let me know what happened to the clothes, So he was like, oh, the clothes was in the washing machine. They were in the washing machine, but I ended up putting them in the dryer. And so in that instance, I said, so I'm not going crazy. You're going crazy. I said, did you not look in the washing machine before you told me that there was no clothes inside of the washing machine? Because you had me over here believing and knowing and like that this is what I did, that I did not put clothes inside of the washing machine. And so I say all of that to say, what are you believing? Because when you know that you did something, or you know that God has spoken something to you, or you know that something is going to work because you've seen it work, and for some reason, somebody is trying to persuade you otherwise because they keep saying you didn't do it. You didn't do it. I know you didn't do it. Oh, this is not going to work. I know it's not going to work. You were not there when I experienced that experience. But somehow God will send validation. He will send, confirmation. He will send something that clarifies what it is that you did was done. So it's like, I'm like, I know, but for a second, I started second guessing the word. In y'all cases, the word or what God said to me, or what he spoke to me, or what I know is in my heart, or what I know my spirit is leading me to do. I knew in my whole heart of hearts, and I knew in my spirit, and I knew in the natural, not even in the spiritual sense. I knew in the natural that I literally took those clothes out of a bag, put them inside of the wash machine, and then I left the money there for you so you could put them in the dryer. And so I was sitting with that thing. And I said, God, I said, what are we feeding ourselves that causes us to change our belief? That causes us to change our mindset, that causes us to change our outlook on what it is that God has already set for us and set for our lives, right? And so I was like, oh my gosh. I said, Lord, I said, I know what I did, and I know, I knew. And I said, God, we watch TV. We're on social media. We're on, we have friends and people around us that don't serve us for our highest good. I don't know which category you fall under, but I'm sure some of these things resonate with you. And if they don't resonate with you, I need you to understand that it's something that you've experienced that you knew where somebody got you to change your belief. Somebody got you to change your outlook. Somebody got you to change your mind, right? And so in that instance, I said, what are we believing? I said, for one quick second, I was in the mode of about to allow somebody to change my perspective, my mindset on what it is that I knew. Because I knew that I put some clothes in that washing machine. But because somebody said, hey, I didn't. But the thing is, it wasn't even that I did not know that I knew. It wasn't that I did not do the thing. It was that the person did not look. The person did not look. They didn't even take a chance. They didn't even consider. They didn't consider it. And the thing about it is, it's okay. Consider. You didn't even consider the fact that, well, maybe I should look into both washing machines to see if they were closed there. Because somehow what happened? What ended up happening was that he woke up and he didn't realize that he had already took the clothes out before the morning time and put them in the dryer. He put them in the other dryer. So once again, what I said to him was, so it's not that I'm going crazy. It's you that's crazy, because I know that I did what I did. And so I challenge you to ask yourself, well, what is it? What is it? I'm sorry, you guys. I challenge you. I challenge you to ask yourself, what am I believing? Because when you know that God spoke something to you, when you know that something works, when you know that this is divine, when you know that you did something and you actually put feet to your faith, who are you allowing to get into your mindset, your psyche, your spirit, your heart, or what have you? Who are you allowing in that space that closely to get you off track, to change your mindset? Who are you allowing? Because in that moment, I said, man, if I would have allowed him to make me believe or to cause me to believe anything else otherwise, my mind started going into other places, like, maybe it was the girl who was coming in behind me who decided to take my clothes from out of the washing machine. Or maybe somebody was watching me. Or maybe somebody came and they didn't my mind started going into all of these whirlwinds that did not need to be, because I knew that I knew. But for some strange reason, I allowed somebody in a second, in a moment of a twinkling of an eye, to get me diverted from what I knew that I knew. And so in that instance, it made me think, and I'm sitting with myself and I'm like, man, what are we believing? What are we believing? What are we allowing people to get into our mindsets to cause us to change what we know that we know? What we know that we know. When you know something, and God spoke something to you, and you know that you know that you know. Like, you know that it's a fixed fight. Like, you know that the just shall live by faith. Like, you know that I'm going to win, because it is a fixed fight. Like, you know that, you are great at what you do. I'm just using, like, you know that this marriage has to work because there is no other way. Like, you know that you are going to be the mom by any means necessary, because God said that you qualified to be that mom or be that dad because he gave those seeds to you. When you know that you know that you know that you know that your business is going to flourish. And just because it's a small thing right now, that does not mean it's not going to blow up, because God says despise not the day of small beginnings. When you know that you know that you know, I challenge you not to allow anybody to deter you from what it is that you know that you know. Especially if you experience it. You may not see what it is in that moment because you don't know behind the scenes what did or did not happen. But you know that God has manifested or placed something in you, on the inside of you, around about you, that you know has to come to light and have to come to life. And if he placed that thing in you and he allowed you to go through the process so that you can experience that thing, you have to know that you know that you know. To the point where somebody cannot deter you from your knowing. Hey, Belinda. So somebody cannot deter you from your knowing. And if I allow somebody to deter me from my knowing, that would have taken my mind even further, because it did go into a whirlwind for a second, because I was like, hold up, I know I did what I did. I know I put the clothes in the washing machine. I know I left the money. I left the money because I did that. But then I said, okay, well, maybe, the person stole. Then I start making false accusations of things. And then this is how we do with God. We start allowing the enemy to come, and we start allowing the enemy to cause us to believe things that God never even said. And the enemy start giving you bits and pieces of the story. He'll tell you part of the story, but don't tell you the whole story. My brother said, hey, you don't have no clothes in that. And not saying he's the enemy, but I'm just using this as an example. He said, you didn't have no clothes in the washing machine. Oh no, the clothes were there. They were there. You didn't look in both washing machines. And then when you did, what you didn't realize is that you ended up doing something so quickly that you didn't realize that you had already made the move that you needed to make. And I'm like, okay, well, where's the clothes now? Once I called. Oh, I did not realize that I ended up waking up earlier, and I put those clothes in the dryer already. So now who's crazy? The enemy will cause you to believe that what you're doing, what you're believing, what you're going through, how you're feeling, your experiences, or whatever the case might be, is not real. It's not true. You didn't really do that. You did not really go through that. You did not really experience that. You did not. But it's not the enemy's job to tell you what you did or did not do. God knows. And ultimately, he knows your heart. And ultimately, he knows the ending from the beginning. And guess what? It should be no reason why anybody can deter you from that journey. Nothing or no one. Nothing or no one. Nothing or no one. Because you know that you know that you know. So the question is, again, what are you believing today? Do you believe what somebody else says about you, or do you believe what God told you that you are? Even if you did not hear the voice of Yah say, hey, you are going to be that awesome whatever it is that you are aspiring after, or you are going to be married, or you are that business is going to do what it is that he said. What are you believing? Because if he spoke to you and even if you didn't hear him say, you are going to do that thing, all you got to do is go to his word. Open it up. Read it. Hear what thus saith the Lord and what he says about you. Hear how you will be abundant. Hear how he says, be not weary in your well-doing, because in due season you shall reap a harvest if you faint not. Hear that the just shall live by faith, and without it none can see him. Hear that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. Hear that he will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Hear that if you are able to allow him to direct your footsteps, he said, delight yourself in me. I'll give you the desires of your heart. I need you to hear these things, because that's what Yah wants you to believe. That's what I need you to believe. So I challenge you to believe the truth about you. And if by chance your truth is negative, guess what? Change the narrative. Change the ending, because guess what? You are in charge of where you're going. Hey, Alma, you are in charge of where you're going. So I challenge you. Every new day, we have an opportunity to do something different. I challenge you to believe what thus saith Yah. I challenge you to believe what your inner knowing says about you. If you don't believe in the Christ that I believe in, I challenge you to acknowledge the universe, or whoever you acknowledge or know within the inside of you, that you can do all things. You are an infinite, limitless being, and there is nothing that you cannot do, and there is nothing that won't happen that you put your feet and your faith to. That's what I want you to believe. That's what I want you to know. That's what I need you to know. And I challenge you to do that. Because I promise you, in your knowing that you know, no one, I don't care who it is, no one or nothing can deter you from anything different. I don't care. When you become woke and when you become aligned and you become conscious of what it is that you're doing on a daily, and you live in the moment. You don't live for the future, but you live for today, because if you live for today, what happens is you're able to live in the moment and experience the fullness of what God has in that moment. And then when you do that, you give yourself the ability to see in its fullness of what the outcome will look like. And so I challenge you to see the fullness of the outcome, and don't allow anyone to deter you from your knowing that you know that you know that you know. That you know that you know that you know. Whatever God spoke, that's it. Whatever he said, that's it. And that settles it. Whatever you believe for your heart, for yourself, whether negative or positive, because we can change the narrative based off of how we think and how we respond to what it is that people say or do to us, right? What are you believing? I love you guys so much, and I hope that you guys got something from out of this video. And if you resonated with anything that I said, please do so. Share this video. It is my job to be able to pour out into you guys what it is that God gives into me at any time, any place, any moment, just because God, it just works on me that way, okay? Yes, plan for tomorrow, live for today. Absolutely, plan for tomorrow, live for today. And know that you know that you know, and don't allow anybody to deter you from your knowing. Because when that's it, that's it. And the best and better is yet to come. And not only that, it is yet here, if you believe that. If you believe that. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I love you guys so much. Once again, I am your girl, Danny Royer from DannyRoyer.com. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. And also, I do want to invite you to come to join my group, Crown Consciousness, you guys. It's forever growing, and I promise you, it will be worth it. You know, getting healed and whole, becoming healed and whole, understanding that your beauty is your pain is imperative. Because oftentimes we as people, we disqualify ourselves because of our stories. We disqualify ourselves because of our strongholds, our weights, and the things that we deal with from a regular daily basis. But I need you to understand that these are things that God knew that you were going to have. And guess what? He still chose to create you as the being that you are. And he still chooses to use who he will. He used Noah. He used David. And for those people who don't know, he used Jonah. For you, if you don't know these stories, I challenge you to go to the Bible and look up the book of Noah. Look up the book of Jonah. Look up the story of these people, just so that you can see that God uses who he wants to. He doesn't just use the elite. No. He used the broken. And he used the hurt. He used the addicts. He used the people who people disqualified. That's who he uses. And I need you to understand that your beauty is your pain, and Crown Up is so imperative, because we all have a story. We all have a story. And what you do with your story will determine your outcome. Yes, you go through things. Yes, we all go through things. This is just a part of our walk. Our walk is assigned to our destiny. Our destiny is assigned to people, places, and things. And God knew that. But I love you guys. Hey, Bridget, thank you so much for tuning in once again. I'm not going to go into a tangent because I could. And y'all know how I am, for those who know me. But I love you guys so much. Go join the group, Crown Consciousness. Share this live with someone. And stay in touch with your girl, Danny Royer. I love you guys so much. And I see you on the next video. Peace.